Hello friends, welcome to the platform of Purvanchal IAS. This is our course on history of Madhya Pradesh for MPPSC exam preparation. We have been discussing about the major events and major dynasties of Madhya Pradesh. This is the part 4 of that discussion. We have discussed in the previous 3 sessions the 3 parts of this particular topic. We'll be discussing the next part of this topic, and this is session number 4. Purvanchal IAS is a venture for sustainable education by Dr. Ravi Agrahari sir and his team. For online classes of rest of the subjects, you can download our app from the Google Play Store or you can call us on these numbers. So the topic on which we have been discussing is history, culture and literature of Madhya Pradesh. So here we have been discussing on these subtopics. So as we know, this is the unit 1 of or you can say the first topic of the prelims exam of Madhya Pradesh state PCS exam, right? So MPPSC exam, this is the syllabus for the prelims exam. The first part we have been discussing major events and major dynasties in history of Madhya Pradesh. A few parts of that we'll be discussing, and we'll be done with that, and we will also finish the part of contribution of Madhya Pradesh in freedom movement. A few parts of this we have discussed in the previous session. We'll be discussing the rest of that here, and we will be beginning major arts and sculpture of Madhya Pradesh in the next session, right? So we have been discussing about these, and in this session we will be discussing about the major events and major dynasties of MP, and we'll be ending this with contribution of Madhya Pradesh in the freedom movement. In this session, we also have a few practice questions so that you get an idea on the type of questions that appear in the exam from these particular things that we have studied here. We will be framing these questions, and the practice of those questions will help you in understanding the way the questions are asked in the MPPSC prelims exam, right? So let us begin. The first topic that we need to discuss here is the Bundela rebellion. So Bundela rebellion of 1842, that is when we were moving towards our first war of independence, and this first war of independence that took place in parts of India, as we know, against the British rule. So this rebellion was before that, and then in 1842 this rebellion happened in Bundela. So it's obviously called the Bundela rebellion, and this happened mostly in parts of Sagar, Narmada territories, right? So the main reason of Bundela rebellion was the land revenue policy of the Britishers. So getting the main reason, understanding that is really important, because most of the land revenue policies of the Britishers almost had almost equal rates for various areas, and this Bundela area, large parts of those areas were not much profitable always to the farmers of that area. So they were unable to pay this land revenue, which was really hefty at that time, to the Britishers, and as they could not pay it, they had to borrow money, they had to do something, and that was really exhausting them socially and economically, and that was the reason that they came out in rebellion in 1842 in these areas. Also, there was this revolt of Dilan Sahab, wherein he revolted against the British policies, interferences, and exploitation. So their policies were repressive for all of the Indians. They also regarded Indians in a inferior way. They spoke in an inferior manner. All of that reduced the self-confidence, self-respect of Indians, and obviously they interfered a lot in every aspect. So as their main aim was to rule, later on obviously they came as traders, but they sat here to rule the country. So their main was aim was rule later on. So they interfered a lot. Okay, so they tried to interfere in any manner, also exploited a whole lot. One example of the exploitation is that they used to fill large ships with a lot of gold and ornaments and everything they took back there. We also have the Kohinoor diamond still there, and they were really exploitative. That Dadabhai Naoroji also gave this drain theory in relation to that, as it is known that Indian resources were drained a lot so as to maintain the trade and maintain the entire supply of goods, that raw materials happened. This raw materials went from India to Britain, and from there the finished goods were dropped down at very high prices in Indian markets. So even the local people were not allowed to produce these goods which were manufactured in Britain and brought here. So that obviously is an exploitation. Of course, this is one part of it wherein we saw only the economic exploitation. There are various other ways in which they used to exploit, right? So the revolt covered the districts of Sagar, Damoh, Mandla, Jabalpur. Okay, so this was the revolt of Dilan Sahib. Now we need to understand what was the contribution of Madhya Pradesh as far as the freedom struggle is concerned. So the first war of independence of India, as it is called, that is the revolt of 1857. Madhya Pradesh, also various parts and leaders of Madhya Pradesh took active part in this revolt of 1857, and Madhya Pradesh became really one of the most important areas where this revolt happened. So it all began on 3rd June of 1857 in Madhya Pradesh. So this first revolt started in Neemach in Madhya Pradesh, right? Colonel Sobers was really the in charge here, so as to suppress it, and he did so with the help of Rajput soldiers. So just have a keen look at what actually is happening here. The Rajput soldiers, they are helping these the Britishers so as to suppress the revolt of their own people. Okay, so India, if they regarded India as one single entity, single country, and all of them had very common reasons to revolt against the British. So if they regarded in that way, they wouldn't have done so. But yeah, they had this duty and they did it. Okay, so that was suppressed. And during the revolt of 1857, obviously others like Scindias and Nawab of Bhopal, etc., supported the Britishers. Okay, so all of these supported the Britishers. So you can see there was this division that happened wherein there were supporters, there were people who were revolutionaries, who revolted, who took all constitutional methods, non-violent, so as to revolt against the Britishers. But a few parts of India also supported the British. Okay, so that is one of the biggest weaknesses of that movement, because of which India was ruled by the Britishers for 200 long years. Okay, so revolution in Sagar was led by Subedar Sheikh Ramzan and Dulmir Khan, and there was this attack carried out on the Sagar fort under the leadership of Bhaktawali and Mardan Singh. Okay, so in 1857, a revolution at Rahatgarh that happened under the Nawab brothers of Ambapani, and these were the Nawab Fazil Muhammad Khan and Nawab Adil Muhammad Khan. Okay, so the prominent leader of the rebellion in Damo, they were these were the landlords of Hindoria, Kishore Singh and Jorawar Singh. Okay, so these were the prominent leaders who came up with this revolt in Damo area. King Shankar Shah of Gond dynasty, he led this in Jabalpur area, and Sadat Khan led the revolt of Maho cantonment and defeated the Britishers there. So this is a silver lining here, we can say, wherein Sadat Khan, he defeated the Britishers in Maho cantonment, and Britishers after that fled to Sahore, where Begum Sikandar, she again, you can see, helped them and provided shelter to the Britishers, okay, so who were going to rule India for the next 100 years. Okay, so that happened, and Colonel Durand was in charge of all of this here, and he returned back and successfully recaptured the territory. So here you can see Sadat Khan's entire revolt was going in a positive way, but Begum Sikandar, she gave shelter to the Britishers. Colonel Durand, he suppressed it later on. Okay, so the revolution in Indore, if we talk about that, we can say this happened by the army of the Holkars, which was led by Sadat Khan and Bhagirath Silawat and Vansh Gopal. Right, and the reports of killings the Britishers at Jokhan Bagh of Jhansi. So at Jokhan Bagh of Jhansi, many Britishers were killed. So this elated the spirits of the soldiers of Gwalior, and they also revolted on the night of 14th June. Okay, so the grand mother of Baijabai of Jivaji Rao. So the grandmother of Jivaji Rao, who was called Baijabai, she helped these revolutionaries in Ujjain, and Jivaji Rao soldiers also fought against the Britishers under the leadership of Tantya Tope. Okay, Jivaji Rao's position was actually weakened there here, but yeah, they did participate. Then the Central Indian Force was formed at Mahav under March, and General Huroz, who was responsible for controlling the Bundelkhand situation, including Sagar, he commanded the Central India forces to quell the insurgency. So, in this area, the Central India force was commanded by General Huroz, and he commanded to suppress all of the revolutionaries. The British also later on took over the Jhansi fort on April 4th, and in this way, the revolt started coming to its end, wherein the last war between Huroz and Rani Lakshmibai took place on 18 June on 1858 on the banks of the river Suvarnarekha in Gwalior, and Rani Lakshmibai became a martyr then on June 18 while fighting gallantly in that war. Also, Tantya Tope was himself fraudulently caught on April 7, 1859. He was betrayed by Rajput king Man Singh of Narwar, who gave information about him. And Tantya Tope later on was caught by the Britishers, and he was also martyred. He was hanged in on 18th April 1859 in Shivpuri. Okay, so in this way, the rebellion, the 1857 war, it started getting suppressed completely, and as a result of this revolt of 1857, the rule of the English East India Company, it ended. So this revolt also shook the roots of English, and the English East India Company ended the rule ended here, and the British government took over later on. Okay, so it was not that only the people who revolted they had the loss. There was loss on the side of the British also, and British roots were also shaken. They were also devastated that this much of reaction is something that cannot be controlled later on. So after this, many efforts were also made so as to suppress any other such tendencies, and British government took over the rule of to rule India later on, right? So, summing up the major rebellions of 1857, the revolt of 1857, if we see here is a list of the rebellion along with the place of revolt. So you can see all of these places here on the map, how different places took part in this particular revolt. So Sheikh Ramzan, he did that in the Sagar area. Then Tantia in the Bhil Goregaon area, this happened. Then Shankar Shah in Gara Mandla area, he did this. And Raja Thakur Prasad in Raghavgarh area. Then Narayan Singh in Raipur area, he took up the charge, and Rani Lakshmibai in Jhansi area, Kalpi, and Tantia Tope in Kanpur, Jhansi, Gwalior areas, he did this, and Bhama Nayak in Mandaleshwar area, he did this revolt, and uh, Rani Avanti Bai in Ramgarh area, and Girdhari Bai in Ramgarh area, Saadat Khan in Mahob, that is the present day Indore area, he took up, and Kumar Chan Singh in Sehore area, then Sheikh Ramzan in Sagar area, and Jhalkari Bai in Jhansi. Jhalkari Bai herself was the bodyguard of Rani Lakshmi Bai. Then Girdhari Bai, who was the bodyguard of Rani Avanti Bai, she took up the same charge in Ramgarh. Shri Bahadur and Devi Shah in Mandla, and Raja Thakur Prasad in Raghogarh, and Dhelan Shah in Narsinghpur. All of this happened. So in this way, we have seen the places in the map, and this movement moved ahead, but obviously it was ended by the British coming on strong against it. Okay. Moving on, talking about the important national movements in Madhya Pradesh. So, if you talk about the important national movements since the earlier ages, which led to this kind of, which led ultimately to the independence of India, we can say the sessions of Congress are really important to be discussed here. There were various sessions of Congress in Madhya Pradesh also. The most important of them we can say is of the 1886, where in the second session of Congress it happened here, and leaders of Madhya Pradesh took part in it, so that is important for us to be discussed. And these leaders of Madhya Pradesh were Bapu Rao, Abdul Aziz, Dada Kinkhede, Gangadhar Chitnis. Okay, so they took part in this 1886 second session of the Congress, Indian National Congress, and Lahore session of 1899. In that also, leaders of Madhya Pradesh took part, who was Dr. Hari Singh Gaur was one of the leaders, and they demanded the separation of different departments of administration. Right. So the Jabalpur conference took place in 1906, and this was a meeting so as to decide on the political activities in the state. Then the Sioni Satyagraha of 1916 and the non-cooperation movement of 1920 to 22 also took place largely in Madhya Pradesh, right? So this non-cooperation movement began under the leadership of Prabhakar Dundiraj in 1920. Then the very important satyagraha of that time was the Jhanda Satyagraha, which happened in 1923 in Jabalpur, wherein the local officials got involved in a dispute regarding hosting of tricolor there. Okay, so dispute started when Congress members were hoisting the tricolor on the municipality building, but the British deputy commissioner ordered the tricolor to be pulled down. Okay, so Congress, they were hoisting this flag, but the British deputy commissioner, he said that no, this tricolor cannot be hoisted here, and that led to the entire dispute. And Congress members started their satyagraha then and there itself. So it got its name Jhanda Satyagraha, that is a flag satyagraha. Okay, so the protest there was led by Shubhadra Kumari Chauhan and Pandit Sundarlal Sharma and Nathuram Modi. Okay, so these are the important names associated with the Jhanda Satyagraha, and these satyagrahis were also prosecuted in a legal case later on. Okay. And this was about the Jhanda Satyagraha. You can see this happened because the Congress leaders were hoisting the flag and the local officials opposed it. And the Satyagrahis, names of this Satyagraha, you can say, are Subhadra Kumari Chauhan, Pandit Sundarlal Sharma, Nathuram Modi. Okay. So the formation of the Swaraj Party took place in the nearby time, wherein in October 1923, Swaraj Party was created under the chairmanship of Raghavendra Rao for the Hindi Central Provinces and Dr. B.S. Munje for the Marathi Central Provinces. Okay, so these took part. These became the part of the Swarajya Party as far as in the area of Madhya Pradesh is concerned. Okay, so also in the election of November 1923 in the Berar Assembly, Swarajya Party got a very remarkable success. So this was one of the signs wherein Indian leaders, as far as also Madhya Pradesh is concerned, took part in the democratic process. I cannot say completely democratic, but yes, in the elections, and they formed this party, and they moved into these assemblies so that they could um, carry on their revolt even from the even in a constitutional and legal manner, right? So the next important phase was of the civil disobedience movement, which happened in Madhya Pradesh in two successive phases. So the first phase was of the salt satyagraha, the second phase was of the jungle satyagraha. Okay, so in the first phase we had the salt satyagraha, wherein this was very properly thought out satyagraha which Gandhiji started. So earlier we heard about the Khilafat movement, right? So this Khilafat movement was coinciding with the previous movement of Gandhiji, wherein this Khilafat movement was taken up so that Hindus, Muslims, and all other communities would take part in the protest. Now, salt satyagraha. Why salt? So taking salt as the most important thing over which the satyagraha is carried out is where in a general satyagraha against Britishers only Gandhiji wanted to do, but this was linked to salt cleverly, that salt is something that was problem for each and every person, each and every class of person in India at that time, who were mainly Indians, because the government mostly had monopoly over the making of the salt. No other person could make as per the law, and even it was really costly. So affording salt was really difficult for people. Okay, so all of that was unfair. So they came up, Gandhiji came up with that, and he took that, and he went on to a march till Dandi, wherein he himself made salt from the sea and all. Okay, so that was all about the salt satyagraha, which happened in 1930. So this was launched in Madhya Pradesh in Jabalpur on 6th April 1930 under the leadership of Seth Govind Das and Pandit Dwarika Prasad Mishra, as it was launched by Gandhiji in Dandi in Gujarat. Okay, so Durga Shankar Mehta of Seoni district also started the satyagraha by making salt on Gandhi Chowk. Okay, after this, the second phase of civil disobedience movement was of the Jungle Satyagraha. So there are in the previous Madhya Pradesh, we can say, also in the present, we have various tribal communities. A large part of tribal communities reside in the areas of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. So these areas had these tribal communities, and specifically the Gogra, Dogri, Betul region tribal communities were really depressed by the rule of the Britishers. They felt oppressed, and also they were frustrated in such a way that they had their own customary way of doing things. So this customary way included wherein the person could the tribes which were residing there, they had their property in a we can say in a which belonged to the entire community, which belonged to the entire tribe. There was no private property sort of thing. So that was eventually occupied by the Britishers. Their only property was the area that they lived on, which were forests. And so this is the Jungle Satyagraha. And these people were totally dependent upon the forest for various resources, but the British restricted them. Also, they had to move out for various resources, so they need money. So they took this money from money lenders who put them into debt trap, and all sorts of things happened with them. So all of this frustrated them because we were really happy earlier, and now we are facing all of this. So they, under the leadership of D.P. Mishra, Balaram Vajpayee, Gunjan Singh Korku, they came out, and also the motivation from Mahatma Gandhiji's salt satyagraha, they made them to come out, and these tribals came out in out of their jungles, out of their homes with lathis, so that they could show their total disagreement with what was happening with them. Okay. So later on, also we had this Charan Paduka massacre in 1931, a very unfortunate thing, wherein in Chhatarpur the anti-British consciousness was really high. Colonel Fisher fired on a peaceful procession, and six freedom fighters therein were martyred. And this can be called the Jallianwala Bagh massacre of Madhya Pradesh. This was the version of Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so that was really unfortunate, and this happened there in Chhatarpur. And here also there were formation of the war committees. The Congress committees declared, but they were declared illegal during this violation of salt law by Gandhiji, and the Congress committees themselves were converted into war committees. Central Province War Committee was headed by Seth Govind Das, and the minister Dwarka Prasad Mishra ji, and Tarun Sabha was established at Jabalpur by both of them. Also, Dwarka Prasad Mishra, he established the Hindustani Seva Dal, and the weekly publication of Danik Lokmat was under the management of Seth Govind Das, and it was edited by Dwarka Prasad Mishra from Jabalpur. Also, Swaraj weekly newspaper began there in the by the editing of Siddhanath Madhav Agarkar. Okay, so all of this happened, and also the Punjab Mail murder case was really unfortunate, wherein Veer Yashwant Singh, Dev Narayan Tiwari, Dalpat Rao, they killed Haxel, and later on they were martyred, they were hanged, and while Rao was sent to Kalapani. So Sohabal massacre in 1938, this happened wherein Sohabal Riyasat in Hinota village of Satna area, an assembly was planned to be organized, and the leader was Lal Buddha Pratap Singh. But before it could even start, these people were shot dead by the British officials near Majan village. Okay, so that was called the Majan shooting case. So all of these things happened. So Bhopal Praja Mandal, you can say 1937. Bhopal Praja Mandal was founded by Master Lal Singh, Lakshmi Narayan Singhal, Doctor Jamuna Prasad Mukherjee, Uddhav Das Mehta, and Chatur Narayan Malviya. Okay, so this was organized against the Bhopal state, which registered an offence and awarded jail custody to these leaders. Okay, so this was against Bhopal state. So why this was against Bhopal state, we will have a look at it later on. So Tripuri Congress, the in 1939 52nd Congress session was held at Tripuri, and Subhash Chandra Bose, he was elected as a president in that. And individual satyagraha also began in 1940 and 41, wherein during that time there was this first world war, and Britain became part of the allies, and it dragged India also into the war without much consultation from the Indian leaders, people, etc. And to show their passive resistance, there was this individual satyagraha that was happening here. Okay, so this began essentially in Jabalpur as far as Madhya Pradesh is concerned. So the individual satyagraha began in 1940. Vinoba Bhave was the first individual satyagrahi, and during the Quit India movement later on, these Vinoba Bhave, Kaka Kalikar, and Seth Govindas were put into the Bangalore jail, wherein the Krishnayan epic was composed by Dwarka Prasad Mishra in the Bangalore jail itself. Okay, so Mandleshwar jail broken case. If you talk about that, some of the freedom fighters were placed in Mandleshwar jail. They broke out. They moved out to address a big crowd, but they were arrested again. And Bhopal state. There was a movement after the Quit India movement there, wherein the Nawab was reluctant to make Bhopal part of Indian Union. Later on, he had to agree because of this movement, and Bhopal became part of Indian Union. And there were these announcement of elections of the government of India. Polling was held in the central province on 9th January 1946, and Congress itself received a majority, and it formed a cabinet in the leadership of Ravi Shankar Shukla. So the provincial governor of independent India, Mangal Das Pakwas, he took oath of office, and the chief minister of central provinces, Ravi Shankar Shukla, unfurled the national flag after that. So in this way, we can say we got our independence, and that ends our discussion on the major events and major dynasties of Madhya Pradesh. Also, the contribution of Madhya Pradesh in the freedom movement. We will be starting the culture parts of Madhya Pradesh, which we need to discuss in the next session. So let us have these two questions. So these two questions, please practice these questions. Try to answer them. Which among the following was the main reason for Bundela rebellion? You may be asked such question in the exam. So land revenue was the main reason. Salt tax, social evils, lack of political leadership. What was the main reason? Then the next one is the which among the following rebellion are incorrectly matched to the place of revolt? Sheikh Ramzan, he took up the rebellion. So this is the 1857 rebellion that we are talking about. So in Raipur, Tantya in Bhil, Koregaon, and we have Shankar Shah in Gara Mandla, then Raja Thakur Prasad in Raghavgarh. Okay, so whichever you think is incorrectly matched, you will have to pick up. So thank you, all the best. I hope you have liked this session. For any other query, you can contact us on this number.